Welcome to practice. Today we're going to be diving into kind of more of a traditional yoga practice, working on specifically the sides of the body. So working to find length and strengthen both the outer side as well as the inner side, or that inner line of the body. We'll be working through postures, a little bit of breath work, and then finally end with meditation. I hope you enjoy. In today's class, let's come to stand the top of our mat. Let's find our toes. The toes are closer together, heels slightly apart. Let's rest our hands by our side and just start to move into your breath. So the breath we'll be working with is Ujjayi breath. In and out through the nose, slight constriction in the back of your throat. And just notice how you're showing up here on your mat. Notice if you can soften a little bit. Kind of feel grounded into the feet, but lighter as we reach the crown of the head. And as you continue to move into this rhythm of breath, let's inhale our hands in front of heart center. And let's set an intention for our practice today. So something that keeps us grounded and focused, keeps us motivated in our practice, something we can always return back to. Let's take a breath into this. Full exhale. Good, gently open the eyes, release your hands by your side. Good, let's interlace our hands. Keep your pointer finger and thumb reached up and bring it straight up towards the ceiling. First, find a ton of length as you inhale here through the center. And then exhale, let's come up and over to the right for Chandrasana. So really find that left foot so you can reach into the left side of the body. Okay, inhale back up through center. And exhale over to the left, ground down through your right foot. Inhale through center. And exhale, let's fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, gaze comes up. Let's plant the hands, jump or step back into high plank. Shoulders over your wrists, drop your knees if you need to. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Your shoulders drop up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Flat onto the feet. Inhale, let's step our right foot in between our hands. Let's drop our left knee down onto the mat and place your hands around your hips. So thumbs wrapping around the back, fingers around the front. Sink into that front knee. Good. Now see if you can just slightly lift up by shifting the right hip back, left hip forward, and then work from this place. Good. Now let's reach our right fingertips onto the floor or onto a block, or maybe we're even just hovering. Left arm reaches up and over. Good. Keep a connection to that front foot and your back foot for stability. One more breath here. Okay, with your next inhale, let's come up and over to the other side. So left fingertips drop down onto the mat or a block, right hand reaches up and over. So really digging into the sides of the body right away in this practice. So we need a ton of breath to keep the body warm, keep the mind focused. Good, inhale back up through center. Let's place our hands down onto the mat. Inhale, straighten your back leg, step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, switching sides. Step your left foot through. Your right knee drops down onto the mat, and then let's bring our hands up onto our hips. We always want to first find stability for sure with the pelvis, down into the feet, down into the legs, so we can find the length up through the torso. Okay, let's take our left fingertips off the mat or onto a block. Right arm reaches up and over. Really important to connect to this rhythm of breath right off the bat in our practice. Beautiful. Inhale back up through center. Let's switch sides. Right fingertips come down, left arm up and over. Good. Watch your breath. One more inhale here. Full exhale. Inhale, let's rise all the way up. Plant your hands down onto the mat. Inhale, straighten your back leg. Let's step back into high plank and lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. So the feet are hip distance apart. Your hands are shoulder width apart. We want a ton of length here into the spine. So if you're a little bit stiffer in the back of the body, bend your knees and push the mat away from you. So now we have a nice tall spine. Curl your tailbone up towards the sky and draw your belly button towards your spine. Good. Now if there's more space, you can slowly start to straighten your legs. Beautiful, let's bring our gaze forward. Jump or step to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Interlace your hands once again. Find the center point, and then let's come up and over to the left. Inhale guides us back to center, and exhale to the right. Good, back through center, and release your arms by your side into Samastitihi. Good, let's do one more round like that. So inhale, come on up with the arms, interlace your fingers. Let's come up and over to the right. Good, inhale through center, exhale to the left. Inhale through center, and then exhale, let's fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, gaze comes up. Plant your hands, jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, let's step our right foot in between your hands. Drop your back knee, hands onto the pelvis, just for stabilization, just to dig into the posture. Okay, take your right fingertips off the mat or onto your block, left arm up and over. So you can feel this really deep connection all through the left side of the body. You should feel it from your left toes all the way to your left fingertips. Good, inhale back up through center, let's switch sides. Keep flowing with the breath. Keep the motion as fluid as possible. Soften through the shoulders, one more breath here. Good, inhale back up through center. Plant your hands down onto the mat. Inhale, straighten your back leg. Let's step back into high plank. And lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, switching sides. Inhale, step your left foot through. Drop your back knee. Let's rise up with the hands and sink deep. Good, walk your left fingertips off the mat. Or onto your block, right arm up and over. Looking for these deep, long lines of connection in the body. Good, inhale draws us back up through center. Right fingertips come down, left arm up and over. So we're waking up the body, waking up the cells, the muscles, filling them with oxygen. Good, inhale draws us back up. Your hands come down to the mat. Inhale, straighten your back leg. Let's step back into high plank and lower. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So 5 steady breaths here in your downward facing dog. Kind of make your big adjustments into the body, and then see if you can find some stillness for the last few breaths, so you can start to connect to the subtle sensations in the body. So we get really quiet, we listen, we feel. Very good. Gaze comes forward. Jump or step to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Interlace your hands at the top. Ground into the feet, and then let's come up and over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center, and release your arms by your side into Samastitihi. Beautiful. So stand at the top of your mat now. Let's take a giant step back with our right foot. So your right toes are going to point towards the back of your mat, your left angle towards the side. Inhale, let's reach to the arms. We're moving to Utthita Trikonasana, side triangle. Let's start to shift the weight forward over this right leg, reaching as far as you can. And then place your right hand onto your shin, top of your foot, or to the inside edge of your right foot. Left fingertips straight up towards the sky. Good. So as much connection as we have to the left side of the body, this long side here. See if you can find a little more space into the right side of the body. Find a ton of extension there. Feel the skin stretching. Good. One more breath. So let's drop both hands surrounding your right foot. Good. Your left foot steps in slightly. So now both toes are pointing towards the back. Your hips are squared to the back of your mat. We're going to move into our twist, so take your left hand onto your right shin, right hand onto your sacrum. So this is our starting point of the posture. If you have more space, take that left hand down onto the mat, the outer edge of your right foot, and right hand possibly up towards the sky. Now instead of focusing on how deep you can twist here, see how much length you can first find through the spine. So reach the crown of the head towards the back of the wall, the back of the room, and then start to twist from this place. Beautiful. Slightly pull back that right hip, left hip will naturally slide towards the front of the mat. Good, we find our feet. We inhale, we rise all the way up. Now let's keep our feet where they are. Just interlace your hands behind your back, either clasping onto fingers or opposite elbow. So just see what your body needs here. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, let's fold forward over this right foot. So testing our balance. And then digging really deep here into the back of the body, the shoulders. Good. If you're having a hard time balancing, you can step this left foot up slightly and maybe a little bit wider. So remember, it's your practice. So you play with the adjustment of your feet, see what you need. And can you find a little more reach to the crown of the head for the last 2 breaths here? Beautiful. Inhale, let's rise all the way up. Release your hands. Let's pivot the feet all the way around so your left toes are facing in front of your mat. Right toes pointing towards the side. Moving to Utthita Trikonasana, inhale, lengthen. Start to shift your left hand forward, allowing the torso to follow. Left hand can drop onto your shin. Right arm up towards the sky. Good, so find your variation, find your depth, and then hold steady. So we're constantly making these little micro movements, these tiny adjustments into the body. We're getting more conscious of the subtle sensations. So maybe feeling the energetic flow in the body just by becoming really quiet. Okay, we find our feet. We inhale, we rise all the way up. Okay, let's pivot around. So we're going to come into our twist now. So let's step our right foot in just slightly. Beautiful. So our hands are now surrounding the left foot. Take your right hand onto your left shin, left hand onto your sacrum. Reach the crown of the head, and then you guys find your depth here. So you're either staying here, which is perfectly fine, or right hand drops onto the mat, possibly left hand up towards the sky. Remember to find the length in the spine first before you come into your full expression of the posture. Now, how is your breathing? It should be deep, it should be rhythmic and consistent, guiding you deeper into your practice. Beautiful. Inhale, let's rise up. Keep your feet where they are, or if you're really wobbly here, just step your back foot in slightly. Let's take our hands behind our back, clasping onto fingers or our opposite elbow. Inhale, we lengthen, and exhale to fold forward. Good, so we ground down strongly into the feet, balancing the weight between the inside edge of the foot and the outer edge of the foot. Trying to relax the toes and gently place them back down on the mat. Good. Can we find our feet? Inhale, let's rise all the way up and come to stand at the top of our mat into Samastitihi. Beautiful. Once again, let's take a step back with this right foot. So right toes are going to point towards the back of the mat, left ankle towards the side. Let's sink into this front knee. Let's drop our right elbow onto our right knee, left arm reaches across our ear. Good, sink a little deeper. Now just gaze back down at your back foot. See if you can really roll the outer edge down so that that starts to activate this inner line. So literally your feet feel like they're pulling into the center of the mat, and you can feel your entire legs start to engage there. Good. So from here, let's take our left hand and just place it onto our left hip. We're going to bring our gaze forward, and we're going to aim to have our right fingertips land just in front of that right foot off of the mat. So we're going to slowly push all the way until this right leg, become light in the left toes, and move into half moon posture, Ardha Chandrasana. Good. So let's reach that left arm up towards the sky. or it can stay onto your hip and keep lengthening out through those left toes. If you're wobbling, if you're falling, that's perfect. You just join us when you can. The steadier the breath, the steadier the body will become here. Good, soften the hold around the jaw, the forehead. The last 2 breaths here. Okay, let's bend into the right knee. Slowly place that left foot back down. Let's take both hands down onto the mat to the inside edge of your right foot and start to walk them around. Now your toes are going to pivot so that they face the long edge of your mat, and we're going to simply fold forward here with the torso. So options with the hands can be just in the middle here, in between your feet, or onto your ankles, or grabbing onto your big toes with your thumb and peace finger, and start to draw your torso down. We want a ton of release here through the spine. So if you need to take kind of some extra movements here to find that release, do so. And then once again, fold nice and deep. Good. Let's take one more deep breath here. With a full exhale, release your hands. Now we're going to start to walk them over. So pivot your left toes so they face the front of your mat now. We're going to bend into that left knee and take your left elbow onto your left knee. Right arm comes up and over your ear. Good, so we'll just really ground down through the outer edge of that back foot. Again, feel that inner line starting to activate with really strong legs here. Now as the legs become strong, don't let that tension or that strength rise up into the neck and the shoulders. See if you can find some softness there. Very good. Keep the breath moving, keep consistent, keep the mind grounded. If the mind wanders, we gently start to pull it back into the practice. Okay, let's take your right hand onto your right hip. Bring your gaze forward. Watch for where you're going to aim with your left fingertips, and we're going to move into half moon posture here. So let's slowly start to bring all the way into that left foot. Left fingertips come down, right hand onto your hip. Good. So that hand can stay onto your hip, or it can reach up towards the sky. Good, we're stacking the hips. The abs are engaged here, so start to pull your belly button towards your spine at the same time. Pull your spine towards your belly button, so they meet right in the middle. Okay, let's bend into that left knee. Gently place your right foot down. Bring both hands into the inner edge of that left foot and slowly walk them around again. So your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. And then once again, let's take a nice forward fold here. You know the options with your hands. Take whatever feels good here into the body and then fold nice and deep. Good. So for any of these postures, they always need a quick little check-in with the breath. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Make sure that it's flowing in and out through the nose. Good, bring a little more weight to your toes. See if you can fold a little deeper for the last 2 breaths here. Let's bring our gaze up, flat through the spine. Exhale your hands onto your hips, pause here. Inhale, let's rise all the way up. Pivot on the toes and come to stand at the top of your mat into Samastitihi. Beautiful. So let's come to stand now at the center point of our mat. Take your feet hip distance apart. Start to stack the body here. Good, keep your hands onto your hips and inhale, let's shift the weight to the left foot and bring your right knee up. Now we're going to take our left hand onto our right knee, bring your right fingertips back behind you, and if possible, bring your gaze back. Now if you're looking for a deeper expression, you can grab onto the outer edge of that right foot, possibly working to straighten it, and maybe your gaze also comes back. Now this right hip is going to want to pop up like this. See if you can roll it down, bring a slight bend into that left knee if you need a little more space. Good, breathe here. Let go of the tension. Let go of how intense the posture may be and just see if you can settle into the soft breath. Good, now let's bring our gaze forward, hands onto your hips, keep that heel lifted, and let's swing it all the way through, coming back down with the torso into flying posture. Good, So we're even here, hands can stay onto the hips, or they can reach straight out in front of you for a little more of a challenge. Just don't let this belly button sag. Keep drawing it up and keep strong through the back of the body. Good, hang in there, 2 more breaths. Good, let's place our hands down onto the mat, slight bend into the left knee. You're gonna drop your right foot so your feet are hip distance apart, and we're gonna shift into crow posture. So hands come down onto the mat, fingers are spread nice and wide. The key here is to keep your tailbone pushing up towards the ceiling. You're gonna bend your elbows and you're gonna work your knees into either your armpits or the back of your arms. Good. So if you're new to the posture, you can watch just at first to get the idea. Your gaze is gonna come forward. And for some of us, we might just be playing with our weight here, maybe lifting one foot and then the other. Maybe you're lifting right up with both feet. If you are, you're really, really hugging the belly button towards the spine, pull up on the pelvic floor. Keep strong with the gaze and broad through the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Gently place the feet down onto the mat, straighten the legs, fold forward. Okay, right away, let's start to roll up through the spine, arriving back, staying up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders down the back, hands onto your hips, and we'll switch sides. Very good, so shift the weight into that right foot, come on up with your left knee. And then you find your expression here. So grabbing onto your knee with your right hand, maybe extending through the left fingertips, or catching on to the outer edge of that left foot. Good. Really soften the shoulders down into your back, keep reaching. So your left foot is pushing towards the front of the room, left fingertips pushing towards the back, helping to balance your full body here. Beautiful. Let's bring our gaze back through center. Hands onto your hips, swing that left foot all the way through. If you fall out, just come back in. Good. So either hands on your hips by your side or straight out in front of you. Keep rolling that left hip down and extending as far as you can. So reaching forward with the fingertips, reaching back with your left foot. Good. Let's bring a little bend into that right knee. Place your hands down onto the mat. Drop your left foot. We'll move into our second set of crow posture. So you guys know we're going to take the posture to start to bring your weight forward. Honor where the body is at, but also try to push yourself. Good. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Your feet plant down onto the mat. Step your feet back into high plank. Let's lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Gaze comes forward. Let's jump all the way through onto our seat. Good. Let's take your left foot straight out in front of you and take the sole of the right foot to the inside edge of your left leg. Let's open ourselves up here nice and wide, and then take your left hand down towards your left ankle, right arm reaches up and over. So again, feeling this huge connection and length here through the right side of the body. If you can take the posture a little bit deeper, you're catching onto the inside edge of that left foot, and then keep drawing down. Our ego likes to kind of get in the way in our practice and take us as deep as we can to the posture. Often we need to back out a little bit so we can breathe and find a little more space, a little more integrity in the posture. Good. Gaze up and open through the chest. Now for a moment here, can you close your eyes and breathe your intention back into the body? So remember why we're here, what keeps pulling us onto the mat, where our focus is. So see if you can ground into your intention and that rhythmic breath for the remainder of your practice. Good. Inhale draws us back up through center. Let's just take that right heel and swing it back out so it's nice and wide. Sit up nice and tall. Now, if for some of you, you're kind of curling like this, you need to place a block underneath your sit bones so that you're rolling up nice and tall. You can take your fingertips back behind you and really lengthen here through the chest. This might be as deep as you come today. which is totally fine. If you have a little more space, take your hands out in front of you and start to walk forward. See if you can drop the gaze down so we're long through the neck. We always want this beautiful long connection from the pelvic floor and the tailbone all the way through to the crown of the head. And as we start to slow down the practice, we move ourselves down onto the mat. We get to really practice becoming steady with the mind. So we hold this rhythm of our practice. We've set the tone, we've set the pace. Now we get to hold it and really dive into this practice of the mind. Okay, we walk our hands back up. Now we'll take the sole of the left foot to the inside edge of your right leg. Right hand can drop towards your right shin, ankle, foot, left arm up and over. So as much as we want to reach and extend here through the fingertips, keep working those shoulders away from your ears and instead find the space through the chest. Good, let's take 2 more breaths here. Maybe sinking a little deeper, or maybe just staying steady where you are. Good, inhale draws us back up through center. Let's face the top of our mat. And take your legs straight out in front of you for a forward seated fold. So find a little space here and then start to work forward. It does not matter where your hands land. Just see if you can drop your gaze. And then see if you can start to move your breath into the spine. So you literally can start to feel the breath winding its way up the spine, starting to make space, letting go of that which no longer serves us on a physical level, on a mental level, on a spiritual level. So this is part of our practice, this letting go. So you can imagine that with every exhale, we're literally expanding and releasing and letting go. And every inhale, we're drawing in the new, the exciting, kind of that focus point. So what we want to draw into our lives, we start to draw that in with our inhale. Good, inhale, let's roll up through the spine. Let's shift down onto our back. Good, take your feet flat onto the mat, knees up towards the sky. We're gonna roll through 2 back bends today. So your feet are flat onto the mat, arms by your side. I'll walk you through the stages, stop wherever is best for you. So inhale, let's lift our pelvis up towards the sky. Good, keep grounding down through the feet, palms wide. So you can stay here or take your hands onto your lower back. Walk your elbows more underneath you. Good. Now if you're adding on, take your hands beside your ears, fingertips pointing towards your heels. Let's push onto the crown of the head and possibly up into your full wheel. And we'll breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, tuck your chin, lie flat onto your back. Good, actually let's do 1 more. So you know the stages now, you find what is best for you. Inhale, let's come on up. Good. If you're in your full wheel, you want to try to have even weight between your feet and your hands. Toes point straight towards the front of your mat, ground straight down and lift your belly button up towards the sky. For 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Tuck your chin, lie flat, draw your knees into your chest. And maybe rock from side to side. And then just for a minute, I want you to find stillness here in the middle. So release your legs, feet onto the mat, hands can land wherever is comfortable. Close your eyes and feel the sensation and the release from your back bend. We're teaching ourselves to become more sensitive and more subtle here. Picking up on these subtle sensations, telling us where we need to move, what needs to happen in the physical body, and also tapping into our intuition. Good, open your eyes. Let's release our arms wide out to the side, take your knees up, and drop them over to the right. Gaze over to your left. Now the breath is still rhythmic and consistent in the body, right till the very, very end of our practice. Good, our knees drop back up through center. Let's drop them over to the left. Gaze towards your right fingertips. Draw our knees back up through center, and then take them straight down onto the mat, moving into Shavasana. So coming into our final resting posture, your hands can land wherever it feels comfortable. So they might be on your pelvis, your stomach, your heart, or they might be by your side, either palms up for more energy or down if you're really looking to settle down after this. Good. Let's take one more deep breath into the body, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Watch yourself become so soft here. The breath is as soft as possible. You literally want to feel like you're melting around your bones, melting around your skeleton, but feeling the support of the earth underneath you. So we use this time to allow the new patterns, all the work that we just did, to settle into the body, to take hold, to find its place. So become really steady here and quiet for about the next 1 minute. As you lay here in your stillness, start to bring full deep breaths back into the body. Watch the breath move into your toes, into your fingertips. Watch it move all the way up the spine, into the crown of the head. When you're ready, let's shift our knees in towards our chest. Hold, wrapping your arms around them. Good. And then we'll roll onto the right side of the body and eventually make your way up to a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. Good, so find your comfortable seat. Hands onto your knees, tall through the spine. Let's roll your shoulders down your back. Good, and then just drop into your natural breath. So in and out through the nose. Make it as smooth as possible. And then let's just move into some deep belly breaths. So on your inhale, your belly is extending forward. And on your exhale, your belly button's drawing back towards your spine. So a very simple breath, but it might be quite challenging. This actually is the proper way that we're supposed to breathe. So inhale, breathing draws out. The shoulders are relaxed, the jaws relax. And exhale, belly button towards your spine. Keep moving with this breath. Let's do 2 more rounds. Good, now soften the breath. Just for about 1 minute here, we'll move into a very gentle meditation. So we're tall through the spine, the shoulders are soft. And let's drop our awareness into our toes. With that smooth and rhythmic breath, draw your awareness into your ankles. into your knees. Move your awareness into your hips. Draw your awareness up your torso, into your shoulders. Awareness drops down into your elbows, down into your wrists, and into your fingertips. And lastly, take the awareness from the pelvic floor all the way through the crown of the head. The entire body in this deep state of relaxation. And as you sit here into your steadiness, draw 2 deep breaths back into the body. Sitting on our hands in front of heart center, pulling our intention back into the breath, into the body, the skin. And very gently opening your eyes, coming back into the space there in front of you. And you are all done. Thank you very much. Namaste.